Welcome to NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy.
Hey, what's going on, football fans? It's your boy Brandon here, back for another week of NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna get right into it. There's a couple things that, there's a few things that I actually want to get to today. But let's start. I'm gonna start by asking a question. How good are the Green Bay Packers? And I'm not asking this to warrant an answer. I'm asking it, from a sense that these guys are really good, and I don't see anybody stopping them on their way to a repeat this year. I mean, when we talk about quarterbacks in this league, when we talking about the upper echelon of quarterbacks, you're talking about Tom Brady, you're talking about Peyton Manning, you're talking about Drew Brees, you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and possibly Phillip Rivers if he wins the championship. But out of those quarterbacks, is Aaron Rodgers now just talent-wise, we're not talking about, Super Bowl rings here. Let's take Super Bowl rings out of the equation. But just talent-wise, is Aaron Rodgers the best quarterback of that group? Just sit back and ask yourself that question. If you're a fan out there listening and you're able to put aside your homerism for five minutes, and out of that group of quarterbacks, is Aaron Rodgers the best quarterback out of that group? And I'm saying yeah. I'm saying yeah. I mean, the guy has the throws that he makes. He fits footballs into the tightest of windows. This guy is as accurate as they come and has an absolute cannon for an arm. And he reads defenses. He knows how to get the ball out quickly. Now, is he perfect? No. But he and Tom Brady are pretty darn close to it. They're what comes to mind when you think about prototypical quarterbacks in this league. But, okay, but the team as a whole, the Green Bay Packers as a whole. Now, it's understood that this league is no more the league where your running game wins you championships along with your defense. It still takes defense. It still takes great defense. But they are so efficient with the passing game that they don't need to run the ball. I mean, they have serviceable running backs if they do have to run the ball in short yardage. John Kuhn is as good as they come in short yardage. But the team as a whole, defense, special teams, and offense, they are still the most complete team in this league, and I don't see anybody dethroning them this year. I think they're going to repeat. Joe Flacco still hasn't proved himself. He still has yet to prove himself in Baltimore. And Mark Sanchez and the Jets are regressing terribly on defense. And New England can't stop a runny nose on defense. So ask yourself that question. Who do you see, who can you honestly say has a great chance at dethroning the Green Bay Packers? Now, keep in mind, this is the NFL. Strange things happen week to week. There are freak and Aaron Rodgers injury from being 5-11. But just keep in mind that this is the NFL, and on any given Sunday, anything can happen. But on any given Sunday, a lot of those things don't happen. So I just wanted to spend a couple minutes on that, and just to kind of get a gauge of how good the Green Bay Packers actually are. They have the potential to be a dynasty, and I think they're on the right path. Think about what it takes what does it take to build a dynasty? Great coach, great quarterback. That's it. If you put the right pieces, if you give the coach the talent and you put the right pieces around a star quarterback, then you're going to win. And everybody that you put around the quarterback, they don't have to be stars. They just have to know their roles and do their jobs. And do their jobs well. Now, granted, stars help. Let's not blow things out of proportion here. Stars help. But, with the Green Bay Packers, how many stars do you have besides Aaron Rodgers and Clay Matthews? Not many. So, just wanted to hit on that for a few minutes. Moving on, I'm going to start something new this week. I'm going to start a Fab Five, which are the best 5 teams in the league, and then we'll have our Filthy 5, which are the worst 5 teams in the league, and then we'll have our Fool's Goal, which are teams that are doing well now. They're doing well now, but they won't be where you think they are come the end of the season. So I'm going to start with our Fab 5, our top 5 teams in the league. In this order, those teams are the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, the New Orleans Saints, the New England Patriots, and wait for it, the San Francisco 49ers. That's my list. Honorable mention, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. I had a hunch to put the Redskins in this honorable mention group, but they haven't beat anybody yet. The best team that they've beat thus far are the New York Giants, and that's nothing to write home about. So that's why I didn't put them on this list. So those are your top 5 teams: Green Bay, Detroit, New Orleans, New England, San Francisco. Now, here are your worst 5 teams in the league. In this order. From really bad to kind of bad. In this order. The St. Louis Rams, Indianapolis Colts, the Miami Dolphins, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Seattle Seahawks. Honorable mention for this group, teams that suck and almost made this list, but will probably be up here come Monday or Tuesday. The Jacksonville Jaguars, and Jack Del Rio's a dead man walking, but I'm just throwing that out there. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the Denver Broncos, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's talk about the Denver Broncos for a minute. And I'm going to give you a reason why they will be in the official worst 5 teams in the league after about 2 to 3 weeks. Everyone knows by now that Tim Tebow is the new starting quarterback in Denver. Our savior is here. Fans got what they wanted. They asked for it. They got it. Now, against the Chargers, the kid almost led a comeback. And the Chargers have a pretty formidable defense. But here's why this team is going to be right in the thick of things come drawing time for the Suck for Luck sweepstakes. One, they're on the brink of trading their best receiver in Brandon Lloyd. Two, they are really, really, really inconsistent on offense. They were inconsistent with Kyle Orton. What do you think is going to be like? But what do you think is going to be like with Tim Tebow? You know, talent-wise, and we're just talking about quarterbacks here. Talent-wise, Tim Tebow is maybe half the quarterback of Kyle Orton when it comes to being a quarterback and doing quarterback things and mechanics and the knowledge of defenses and things like that. Tim Tebow is maybe half the quarterback of Kyle Orton. And this is no slight to Tim Tebow. I think he's a good guy. Personally, I think he would have served better at another position, perhaps. But I don't know. I mean, don't get. I'm no Merrill Hodge here. I'm not trashing the kid. I just have questions. I have legitimate questions about his ability as a quarterback to lead a team to success. And I personally, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's the type of quarterback that needs a lot of elite talent around him to be able to win games, be able to win a couple games. And right now he doesn't have that. So, as bright as the future looks right now, I just think it's a false sense of hope. All right. Let's go to our let's go to our fool's goal. And they're on a certain amount of number. There's a certain number of teams that I put on this list. But here are the teams for my fool's goal. We got the Cincinnati Bengals, the San Diego Chargers, and the New York Giants. Now, Cincinnati's sitting at 3-2. They could very well be 4-2 after this weekend. As a matter of fact, I actually have them beating Indianapolis at home. So they'll be 4-2. But let's not blow it out of proportion here, people. I mean, they keep in mind that they still have a rookie quarterback in Andy Dalton, who's shown improvement. I like the kid. At first I was kind of skeptical about that pick, but I like the kid and I like the direction that they're going. He has a heck of a weapon in AJ Green, who's by my standards is exceeding expectations so far this year, and they got a really good nucleus to build off of. All they need to do is get rid of Marvin Lewis and that entire coaching staff, and probably remove some pieces out of that front office, and then they'll be on the right track. But talent wise, they're already on the right track. They have they've got some good piece. They've got good pieces in place already, and they have a pretty good defense right now. But two rookies starting on offense at two of the most important positions, quarterback, wide receiver. You're gonna have some growing pains. They're 4-2. They'll probably end up 6-10. As for the San Diego Chargers, every year you want to believe in this team. It's kind of like Dallas. Every year you want to believe in this team, but somehow, some way, they end up choking. They end up giving the opportunity away to be really, really good. I can't put full stock into this team until there's no more Norv Turner. I mean, I love the guy as an offensive mind. I'd kill to have him as my offensive coordinator, but as head coach, he's just I don't think he can. I don't think he can do it. And Phillip Rivers deserves better. The guy's a heck of a quarterback. He's just He's right there at the brink of elite status. And I think some playoff success will put him up there. But right now, I don't think he can get there with Norv Turner as his coach. Therefore, I have to keep him in my Fool's Gold group, because of Uncle Norv. Sorry, Norv. And then we have the New York Giants. Now, I was kind of hesitant about putting them in this group because, for one, I'm a Tom Coughlin believer. The guy's a heck of a coach. He's a great motivator, always gets the most out of his players. But I don't know. It's just they'll come out one week and they'll beat a team that no one gave them a chance to beat, and then they'll come and lay an egg like on Sunday when they lost to Seattle with a backup quarterback named Charlie Whitehurst. Now, it was bad enough if they had to let Tavares Jackson beat him. But no, that wasn't enough. They let Charlie Whitehurst beat him. Now, it's hard to get a gauge on this team because they're just so inconsistent. They're never consistently good. They're never consistently bad. They're just so inconsistent. But, with all the injuries that they have, especially on defense, as the year goes on, I just think that's going to take its toll, and therefore it's going to end up having this team at 7-9 or 8-8. So that's my Fool's Gold group. When we come back, we'll have Kennedy with the Mayweather segment right here on NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. Be right back. Be sure to tune in next week for a full recap of Week 6 right here, only on NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. All right, we're back, people. As promised, here's Kennedy with this week's Mayweather segment. Enjoy.
Mayweather.
Hello, everybody. This is Kennedy back this week with our Mayweather segment. I'd like to start off by saying I apologize for last week. My poor phone. It was a freebie from Boost Mobile. I'm sorry about that. I want to start off this week talking about the one and only Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles, everyone's dream team, is 1-4. One of the worst defenses in the league. Well, not one of the worst defenses in the league, but they can't get anybody off the field. And their offense is generating points, but they also turn over the ball a lot, especially Michael Vick. But let's go back to how the whole dream team started. They started because they signed Nnamdi Asomugha, or as his people usually call him, Nnamdi. Now, Nnamdi should have went to New York because Nnamdi wants to be an actor. But his greed got in the way, and he let Philly entice him with more money. Instead of going to New York to be on a legit team that has a Super Bowl, he went to Philly because for some reason people think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I don't know why. In the history of the Super Bowl, they've only been there twice and lost. Speaking of which, they're in the Super Bowl winning division. That's right. The NFC East is the Super Bowl winning division. It's one of those, it's a rare division. It's rare. It's the only division. Not only the teams that have Super Bowls have them, but they have at least 3. So for Philly to even be considered among the elite of their own division, they would have to at least win 3. They have nothing. Cowboys have 5. Redskins have 3. Giants have 3. They have nothing. The Philadelphia Eagles are in danger of getting banished to the NFC West just like Arizona was because they're not keeping in. I'm assuming the NFL one day is going to realign the whole the conferences and just put New England in the NFC East. But let's go back to Nnamdi. If he'd have just went to New York, he'd have been on the other side of Revis, and he had a legit chance of going to the Super Bowl. Now, toilet bowl. Now, everything started with the Dream Team also because the whole name, it came from good old VY. You know, you guys know VY. If you boo him, he sits in a corner and starts playing with a gun. And then you'll start getting, then the coach will start getting phone calls from his mama saying, I can't find him. You let this moron say the word Dream Team, and now everybody else is saying it. And then Jason Babin signs up and says, yeah, we're the Miami Heat of the NFL. I'm sorry, that team lost in the finals. You want to be, so you happy being losers? What the hell? And then they start off and they beat St. Louis. Well, now everybody knows after 5 weeks, St. Louis is a JV team. And then they go on to lose 4 straight. Now, it also has to do with their defense. Their defense is being run by an O-line coach. I guess Andy Reid is so arrogant that he just assumed that, my offensive line coach said he can run the defense. I'm going to let him run it. I mean, he's been working against defensive lines his entire career. Let me switch him over, and instead of protecting, let him get a chance to attack. And it's not working. That line is Swiss cheese. Anybody can run on them. They're giving up 130 yards rushing every game. Now, I'm going to save murdering them verbally until next week. If they lose to the hapless Washington Redskins, and just like last week, fraudulent 5, I don't believe their record. But if they lose to the Redskins, they're going to get it. And they're going to get it hard. And they know it because they're already getting it in Philly. And that happy-ass town, they love everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about another place. They hate everything. And now they really hate their Eagles. And they're going to really hate them if they lose to the Redskins tomorrow. Also on this list this week is Roy Williams. Roy Williams used to play for the Lions and the Cowboys, and now he plays for the Bears. And he was there last Monday night when the Bears played the undefeated Detroit Lions. So after the game, after they lost, Roy was in his locker room, and he was talking to reporters, and he told the reporters, Ford Field never was this loud when I was a Lion. Hello, you stunk. You're a part of a team that went winless. Your general manager was an inept fool. You sucked. Your quarterback sucked. Your coaches sucked. No offense, stupid, but fans like to cheer winners, not losers. They have a team that is good. Not great, but good. And I'm telling you, in the next couple of years, there will be a Super Bowl in Detroit. And they are happy about it in Detroit, especially that city that's been in recession for the last 50 years. They're happy. They're so happy the union people want to work for free. I'm just playing. The union. So for this idiot to say they've never heard it that loud, yeah, you never will until you go there next year, whatever team you're in, or water boy or groundskeeper and crew, whatever. You'll never hear it that loud because you never will, you loser. That ends this week's segment. It's back to my boy Brandon in our home studios in Rocky Mount. See y'all next week. Bye.
All right, we're back. Last week I went 7-6 on my picks. My upset pick of Carolina over New Orleans failed, so that was one of the 6 losses that I had. But nevertheless, I had a winning record as far as picks. For my week 6 picks, I got for San Francisco at Detroit. I got San Francisco over Detroit, 24-20. I just think that San Francisco's defense will do just enough to eke out a victory in the fourth quarter, and they'll be able to get enough pressure on Matthew Stafford to rattle him. St. Louis at Green Bay. I like Green Bay, obviously, in that one, 35-7. That is a complete mismatch. Probably the biggest mismatch that we'll have all season. Carolina at Atlanta. I'm picking Carolina for one more week for my upset pick. Hopefully they won't upset me again, but I like Carolina in this one, 21-20. Indianapolis at Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati at home. The Colts are just a complete mess. They're horrible. I like Cincinnati 20-10. Buffalo at New York, at the New York Giants. I don't like where the New York Giants are going. I think they're headed in completely wrong direction, but who knows? They're the New York Giants. They may come back and surprise us again this week and beat Buffalo, but I don't think so. I like Buffalo in this game, 31-24. Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh in this one. I just think the Jacksonville Jaguars will be overmatched in this one. Ben Roethlisberger hit his stride last week, and I think he'll have another good week against a suspect defense in Jacksonville this week. I like Pittsburgh 30-17. Philadelphia at Washington. You know, I gotta go with Washington on this one. I like them at home, 17-6. You know, they run the ball well. Philadelphia can't stop the run. They can't stop anybody. They put up points, but they won't put up that many points against the Redskins defense. So I like Washington in this one, 17-6. Houston at Baltimore. I gotta go with Baltimore on this one, 28-14 at home. I don't think they'll be that successful in the run game. I think they get a lot of pressure. I think the Ravens get a lot of pressure on Matt Schaub and pressure him into a couple of picks. Cleveland at Oakland. I like Oakland in this one. Cleveland's not as bad this year as they have been in years past, but they're still quite a ways away in where they want to be. Oakland runs the ball well. This will be a smash mouth game, but I like Oakland in this one, 17-13. Dallas at New England. I like the Cowboys actually in this one. It's my other upset pick of the week. I like the Cowboys 31-28. My reason for that is this. I like the matchup of Dallas's defense against Tom Brady as opposed to Tony Romo against New England's defense. I think Dallas has a better defense. They get a lot more pressure on the quarterback, and I think that'll end up being the determining factor in this game. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. I like Tampa Bay to turn things around this week and get one at home, 24-21. This is an NFC South game, so it'll be a good game, probably come down to the last second, but I like Tampa Bay at home on this one. Sunday night game, Minnesota at Chicago. I like Minnesota. I think they got a lot more going for them than Chicago, which isn't saying much, but Chicago's bad. Jay Cutler doesn't have any talent around him besides Matt Forte, and I think Minnesota actually gets this one 20-14. And finally, our Monday night game, Miami at the New York Jets. I like the Jets in this one for obvious reasons. 17-3. Miami's horrible. They probably will continue to be horrible this week. I think the Jets run it up all up and down the field against them, and they'll end up coming out victorious. So those are my picks. Join us next week for a full recap of Week 6. And hit us up on email, nflreeltalk @gmail.com. That's nflreeltalk @gmail.com, or hit us up in the comments and let us know what are you feeling, and any questions or comments that you might have about the broadcast, or suggestions about improvements that we can make. But that's it for this week. Join us next week. This has been NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. Have a good one.